Amay? Amay! What have I taught you? And now... Amay! He's right. You're where you belong.
When I first watched Wolf Children, it didn't feel like I was watching a movie. It felt like I was watching my own reflection. I watched Amay, quiet, different, lonely, unsure of where he belonged, and I saw myself. I saw my own struggles, my own doubts, my own longing to figure out where I fit in this world. The first time I watched it, I immediately played it again, and then again. It wasn't just entertainment. It was like the movie was speaking to me directly, reminding me that it's okay to be different, that it's okay to search for meaning in places others might never look. Wolf Children, directed by Mamoru Hosoda, is one of the most emotional and heartfelt anime films of the past 2 decades. At its core, it's a simple story. Hana, a young woman, falls in love with a man who can transform into a wolf. Together, they have 2 children, Yuki, a lively girl, and Amay, a quiet boy. But tragedy strikes early. Their father dies, leaving Hana to raise 2 half-human, half-wolf children completely on her own. What follows is a story about parenting, identity, and choice. Hana has to protect her children from a society that wouldn't understand them. She struggles with ordinary tasks, like feeding them when they turn wolf or stopping them from transforming in public, but also with bigger, scarier questions. How do you teach someone to live between 2 worlds when you don't belong to either yourself? That's the heart of Wolf Children. It isn't just about Hana raising her kids, it's about her children and us learning to define who we are. Of the 2 children, it was Amay who hit me the hardest. Where Yuki is outgoing, curious, and eager to fit in, Amay is withdrawn. He struggles at school, he feels awkward in social situations, he doesn't know where he belongs, and it hurts to watch because it feels so real. Amay spends much of the movie caught in tension. Is he human or is he wolf? Which world is he meant for? As the story unfolds, Amay is drawn more and more to nature, to the wilderness, to the part of himself that is animal rather than human. And in the end, he makes the decision to live behind the human world entirely, to become a wolf, to follow his instincts, to live where he feels he truly belongs. That's heartbreaking for Hana, but it's liberating for him. And this resonated with me because it mirrors my own feelings growing up. Like Amay, I often felt different, alien, like I wasn't made for the world around me. I struggled to understand where I fit. Watching Amay choose his path, even though it meant leaving safety and familiarity, felt like a lesson. That sometimes, to find yourself, you have to step away from the life others expect you to live. But Wolf Children isn't only about Amay or Yuki. At its heart, it's about Hana. Hana is one of the most powerful depictions of motherhood in anime. She is loving, determined, and endlessly resilient. After her partner's death, she could have given up. Instead, she devotes her life to protecting and nurturing her children, even when she doesn't understand them. What makes Hana's struggle so moving is that she isn't perfect. She doesn't have the answers. She makes mistakes, she gets frustrated, but she never stopped trying. Her greatest challenge is one every parent eventually faces. The realization that her children are not hers to keep, can protect them, guide them, and love them, but she can't control who they become. When Amay chooses to embrace his wolf side, Hana is devastated, but she doesn't stop him. She let him go. Because to truly love someone is to let them become who they are meant to be, even if it means losing them. That's what makes Wolf Children so raw and so real. It isn't a fantasy about wolves. It's a story about love, sacrifice, and the bittersweet truth of parenthood. Wolf Children is layered with themes that cut deep. Identity and belonging. Yuki chooses the human world, Amay chooses the wolf world. Neither is wrong, each represents the courage to choose a path, even if it means separation. Motherhood. Hana embodies unconditional love. She teaches our children to survive but also accepts that she can't define who they are. Nature versus society. The wolf side represents instinct, wilderness, freedom. The human side represents structure, community, and responsibility. The movie doesn't say one is better. It says both are valid, and each person must find their balance. Growth through struggle. The hardships Hana faces aren't obstacles to the story, they are the story. Her suffering, her perseverance, her resilience are what shapes both her and her children. What makes these themes resonate is how universal they are. You don't need to be a half-wolf to understand what it feels like to not belong. You don't need to be a parent to understand the pain of letting go. You just need to be human. For me, watching Amay's journey was personal. I've always felt different, like I was standing just outside the world everyone else seemed comfortable in. I've always wondered where I belong, what I'm meant to do, what I'm meant to be. And Amay's choice to embrace his wolf side, even though it meant leaving behind everything he knew, gave me a strange sense of comfort. It told me that it's okay to choose a path that others don't understand, that sometimes your answer won't make sense to anyone else, and that's fine, as long as it's true to you. At the same time, Hana's story reminded me of the people in my own life who sacrificed for me, the ones who let me go, even when it hurt them, because they wanted me to find myself. That combination, Amay's journey and Hana's sacrifice, is why Wolf Children hit me so hard. It wasn't just a movie, it was a mirror. It's worth talking about Mamoru Hosoda because his direction is what makes Wolf Children so special. Hosoda is known for films like The Girl Who Leaped Through Time, Summer Wars, and Belle. His work often blends fantastical elements with deeply human themes. In Wolf Children, the fantasy of Wolf Children is never the focus. It's simply the backdrop for a story about family, identity, and love. The pacing is slow, but intentionally so. The film takes its time showing Hana raising her kids, moving to the countryside, struggling with farming, and finding community. It feels real, almost mundane at times. That's what makes the emotional beats hit so much harder. Hosoda also has a gift for visual storytelling. The countryside isn't just a setting, it's a character. The seasons change, mirroring the children's growth. The rain, the forest, the mountains, all reflects the emotions of the story. This combination of realism and symbolism is what elevates Wolf Children from a touching story to a masterpiece of animation. So why does Wolf Children endure? Why, more than 10 years after its release, does it still resonate with so many people? Because it's honest. It doesn't sugarcoat parenting. It doesn't idealize identity. It doesn't give us a clean, happy ending. Instead, it gives us something better. Truth. The truth that finding yourself is painful, that raising children is hard, that love sometimes means letting go. And because of that honesty, Wolf Children doesn't just tell a story, it tells our story. When I think back on Wolf Children, the scene that always comes to my mind is Amay standing in the storm, choosing his path. That's the moment that stayed with me, because it reminded me that it's okay to be different. It's okay to choose your own way. It's okay to walk into the wilderness if that's where your heart belongs. For me, Amay wasn't just a character, it was a reflection of my own journey. And Hana wasn't just a mother, she was every person who ever loved me enough to let me go. And that's why Wolf Children is more than just a movie. It's a story about identity, love, sacrifice, and the courage to become who you are. That's it for me. Thank you so much for watching. It really means a lot to me. If this story touched you as much as it touched me, leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment below. And again, if you made it this far, thank you so much. I'll be right back.